Hello friends and welcome back to another video where today we will be discussing theories around ADAR in The Rings of Power Season 2. ADAR, the corrupted elf who was one of the most interesting and fan-loved characters in the first season, partly due to Joseph Marley's impeccable performance, but also due to the themes plucked from Morgoth's Ring and the mystery around the Modiquendi, the first corrupted elves. So, we will be discussing really where we will see Adar's character going forward in the second season, as most people thought he would die off in the first season, so make sure to like and subscribe. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So firstly, what do we know of Adar's character so far in season 1, and where did we leave him off? Well, we first met him really in episode 4 in the Orc tunnels, when we found out the orcs have returned and this resulted in Arondir being captured. This led to him sacking Tirharad, which initially was unsuccessful but ended up tricking the Southlanders until the Númenóreans came, but Adar's plan still worked, with the previously built tunnels leading to the water flowing to Adun and resulting in the creation of Mount Doom. The last we saw of Adar was him in his new wasteland of Mordor, as we saw from that finally title card scene. So now that we are all caught up, let's discuss what could happen to Adar in season 2 with some theories. First off, we have the Adar and Sauron theory / relationship. How will that work? The final scene of season 1 is Sauron making it to Mordor, where Adar is currently the leader and father of the orcs. Adar and Halbrand had some intense scenes in season 1, particularly where Adar didn't recognize who Halbrand was, but admitted to killing Sauron after his experimentation on orcs up north went wrong. So, Sauron is now in Mordor. What happens? The first option is they ultimately face off again, but would Sauron do this in the form Adar remembers or his Halbrand form? Or maybe he can do it in both, and then midway through a fight or face-off, Adar ultimately realizes who Halbrand is, Sauron, the person he supposedly killed, which of course is not the case. However, there's one thing we need to take into account. The orcs love Adar, and their fidelity to him was clearly shown in season 1, even when he had to stab and kill one of their own. The reverence is shown even with the chanting of his name. So, how does Sauron get past that? As we know, he ultimately does become the ruler and basically enslaves the orcs, but Adar has the orcs mainly on his side currently. So this leads to the theory of partnership and cooperation between Sauron and Adar. There are many ways this partnership can go. Firstly, the common enemy route, whereby Adar and Sauron know that they have a common enemy, aka the elves, or even more specifically Galadriel. For that matter, if we go back to the scene in episode 6 when he was trapped and Galadriel was speaking almost sadistically, and Adar compares her to the villain that she is trying to fight all this time. So maybe their hatred for Galadriel is what gets them working together, but of course, because Sauron is a manipulator and seducer, he uses this situation just like he did with Celebrimbor, or might continue to do so, and what he would do with Ar-Pharazôn like he does in the Silmarillion to gain power and rank. From one of our recent scoops, we revealed that Adar will trap Galadriel for a period of time in season 2, so it seems like Galadriel will be a key to them both and maybe even their partnership. However, this relationship could be one-sided, where Adar is in charge of Halbrand, but this could be one of them being a co-commander, or they fight and face off. I think we are basically owed a showdown between the two regardless, so we will probably see that, but that doesn't mean one of them will kill the other. From the scoops, one of the things we have reported and learnt is that Adar has been on the battle sets, which have included characters such as Galadriel, Elrond, Gil-galad, etc. So there is a high possibility that he will be at the sack of Eregion, which in the books was actually led by Sauron. So this further puts into the limelight Sauron's and Adar's relationship in the second season. Combat wise, will they both lead a double offensive with the Adars coming from the south and from this bridge, and then Sauron's coming from a different angle, or maybe the quote second offensive actually relates to his manipulation internally of the elves of Eregion and Celebrimbor with the form of ADAR. So if Sauron does this internally and is the actual danger and the quote second offensive, while everyone in Eregion is focused on ADAR, who is still the big evil baddie and battle commander, then this shows ADAR and Sauron working together. Whether ADAR and Sauron's partnership endures is an important talking point, as ultimately these are two evil villains and there's only really one space for one true villain and Dark Lord. And we know ultimately Sauron is this Dark Lord, but this puts into question, after defeating Eregion, will Sauron and ADAR then look back to each other again and one of them try to consolidate control and be the ultimate Dark Lord? This is because it seems like it is almost a theme between the two. Firstly, all the way back to the kingdom fortresses up north where the experimentation was happening, where ADAR and a different Sauron form faced off and ADAR apparently killed them in this fight. Then in season 1, Halbrand is the one to knock ADAR and then almost kill him in episode 6 if Galadriel wasn't there. Then there'll most likely be another face-off and fight when Sauron and ADAR meet each other again at the start of season 2. So this seems like a recurring and common theme, so ending the season with them ultimately facing off again wouldn't be a surprising thing, and could even be an interesting scenario where they have defeated their main ally and now they need to face off against each other. The final point of discussion is whether ADAR would survive going into season 3, because he is a character which seemingly most thought would be a one season villain, who now seems to be heavily involved in the 2-episode battle, which is even near the end of season 2 itself, which begs the question of whether he will now make it into season 3 as well. And what would be the end goal for the character? ADAR can survive potentially, but lose all his power and just be someone we don't see again. Or some have mentioned the theory of him appearing at the Battle of the Last Alliance, but on which side is the interesting question, as an ADAR turning good theory is our final theory for the video, whereby ADAR, who is a corrupted elf but still has some of that elf in him, ends up betraying Sauron or fighting against him ultimately, and ultimately redeems himself and his actions as he realizes that Sauron's plan and dominion for the orcs does not align with his love and cherishing of the orcs, and maybe this could result in him betraying Sauron and actually helping the elves, because remember, he loves these orcs. This would be for an interesting end goal for the character, and this redeeming factor and concept of, quote, "For nothing is evil in the beginning, even Sauron was not so," from the Fellowship of the Ring, could work nicely here with ADAR as well, because this seems to be a key quote the showrunners like to work with. So seeing some hope even in the most evil of villains is a theme I can see the showrunners really gelling with, but we shall have to wait and see. So thank you guys for watching, I really appreciate it. We know with ADAR in season 2 there has been an actor change, but from this tweet on screen right now, we've been hearing internally that the actor who plays ADAR, Sam Hazeldine, has been one of the best at performances on set so far for season 2. We've been hearing a lot of praise, so that's a very exciting thing, and it's nice to know that he will get the chance to make this role his own, because he'll get enough time with ADAR to do something with it separate, or maybe not separate, but make it so that he isn't just in here for a bit and then everybody still thinks of Joseph Marley as ADAR. So he does get a chance to show his interpretation of the character, so that will be exciting. But of course Joseph Marley is still a massive miss, and it's a shame that he had to go. Let us know what you thought of these ADAR theories in the comments below, or whether you have any more ADAR theories, and if you want to see a part 2, because there is quite a lot to discuss around this character. Because interestingly, even though he is an original character, he's one of the characters that really seemingly gel in with the show, and I could have even conceptually seen as a Tolkien character himself, so that would be quite exciting. So thank you guys for watching, we really appreciate it. Please make sure to like and subscribe. But until the next video, my friends, goodbye.